Guys, this is Roy of EngageBay. I'm here today to talk about EngageBay service macros. So to get there, you have to be under the service platform and then just make sure that you're under macros tab. So macros are technically automation without a trigger event. So it's a set of automation that you could attach to a certain ticket or execute to a certain ticket so that it will follow a certain automation path that you created. So this is useful when you have a certain set of automation that you want to apply to specific tickets, but they don't comply with the same trigger event. Or you already have those tickets there pending and you simply want them to go through a certain automation pattern that you pre-created. Um, so you can't really let them go through automation without that trigger event. But with the use of macros, you could still let them go through a certain set of automation without a trigger event by simply executing a macro on that certain ticket. So let's see how this works. Let's create one. So we're going to create a macro. I'm going to say this is the urgent macro. I'm going to click continue. When you're going to create a macro, as I've mentioned, it will not have like a start event. It kind of starts in the middle because you executing it is the start event. So let's add an automation. So I said that will be urgent. So there are a couple of things that you could do. Actually, there are a lot of things that you could do. But what I'm trying to just do is to change the ticket priority. So I'm changing the ticket priority to urgent, and I'm adding that action. And then what will gonna happen next is that it will send an email uh, to the contact where this to whom this ticket is created for, to the contact whom this ticket is created for. So I'm gonna send an email. There it is, and I'm gonna name it urgent. Ticket is now set to urgent. Okay. And I'll just leave the settings down here. You could actually add a time zone or the days when you just want this to be working. But I'm leaving that by default. So with this macro that I created, what will gonna happen is if I execute this to a certain ticket, it will change the ticket priority to urgent, and then it will send an email to the person whom this ticket is created for, telling them that their ticket had been set or their case had been set to urgent. So I'm just saving that. And I'm going out of here. So there you go. You see it says urgent and I'm going to tickets. And then I'm going to choose one of the tickets. So I'm going to execute this. Let's just say this one. So when we look at this now, it doesn't have priority. Let's look for something with priority. Maybe the next one does. Yes, okay, so this one has a low priority. And I'm going to execute the macro here. So what you're going to do to execute is to go into that specific contact, go to the three vertical dots here, and then click on execute macro. When you click on execute macro, it will make you choose which macro you want. So since I have two, you could see two, but I'm just choosing the one that you see there, urgent. And I'm going to say execute. Okay, so it's executed, and now we're just gonna refresh this one. So it was ticket 11. Let me just see if this is the ticket. So it was an email. So this is ticket 11. And let's see how's the priority now. See, the priority had been changed to urgent. And then on the user side, they were able to receive the email, this email. So it says, hi, your ticket had been set to urgent. So technically, that's how it works. As you can see, this type of setup is more useful when they're using macro. Uh, Instead of you manually changing the ticket status to urgent and manually sending an email after you change it, then you could just use a macro to do that trick for you. So it changes the priority and then it sends an email. You could apply this to some other things that you might want to semi-automate. I would say semi-automate because it doesn't really have the trigger event. Um, and in some cases that the automation is actually not applicable, like this one, because you really have to just set the status to, or rather the priority to urgent, and of course you need to inform the user that their ticket is ready, so urgent, and then you could even set delays there, like after 1 day, to provide them daily updates on what's happening to their ticket, something like that. So I think that pretty much covers the macros. So once again, this is Roy with EngageBay. Thank you for watching.